Welcome guys to Artist Marty Mum. It's International Rock Art Day today and I had to put a video out for this day. So we're doing a tutorial specially with the logo they have for the day, which is Be the Light. And I have a design planned uniquely for that. So here is our rock. We're going to go down, and work through this plan together. I hope you like it today, guys. Let's go, let's get to it. Right, hello guys. So, as I said a couple of minutes ago, we're doing Be the Light for our lovely International Rock Art Day, which is really cool. All about spreading kindness and letting in strangers, anyone that we decide to put our rocks out, find them and hopefully make their day a little bit better. So we are going to use the core theme, Be the Light, which has been put out for this day as the words that have been chosen, and go from there. I've gone with a torch that also kind of looks like the Batman torch because that was our last video, and I wanted to make it a bit different from, well, what a lot of other people have done, which is a light bulb. I have to be different. So I'm going to simply go by getting a pencil or a pen and sketching on and marking out what our torch is going to be. Now, if your rock isn't white or already, give it a base primer paint first. Any white acrylic paint, or even the paint you can go get tester pots down in things like places like B&Q in England, or I don't know what, I can't think of any of your American stores. Any big hardware store should sell tester pots of paint. So I've gone for like kind of a big kind of headlight here that would glow into the darkness, so it's very like your Batman light, but it is also like a torch high beam as well, and it's kind of like the idea of being the light in the darkness. So I'm liking the idea of that. And then we're going to add our colours, and I've just gone for a nice wide brush for this, starting with a yellow, and I've got a really nice primary yellow at last. I found one I like. It's liquidex primary yellow, and it costs a little bit more. I think this is like £4.99 in English pounds, obviously, for a tube, which is more than I normally pay, but oh my goodness, it's worth it. Look at that first layer on, and it is completely covered. No marking through. I think my water might not be perfect because I've been painting all day, and I had to re-record this because I didn't paint within margins for this recording. So there we go. And this needs to most definitively go out on the 3rd for it being the right day. And here we go. We're going to put a bit of coral pink to it, just to add a bit of extra tones to the light, which isn't as natural looking light as, but it just adds a bit of an arty tone to it, I suppose. And then a little bit of white to the beam, and I'm just going to soften it all down like this. So it doesn't take forever to dry, but it also just looks nice. And then I'm going to do my paintbrush and rinse, get a bit of the white, get a bit of the yellow, and just make this like lemony colour. And I'm going to use that at the really top here and at the really very bottom, just to show the differences in tone that are away from the really high beam, and soften it off with a little bit more white actually on the rock itself. You see I'm using a really wide brush for all this work because it's just really nice, simple, easy block work that just makes a really nice effect at the end. So we've got this nice colour. I can add another bit more coral onto this too. Get on the top, and then just use the other side of the brush before you clean it. can rinse it in. You can use my finger somewhere a bit there. And we got this really nice tones. Rinse that brush again, and we're going to add the black, which is for our torch itself. So fill in the body of the torch, which is straight along there to the bottom of your rock. And then we've got a nice flat line across here, which is why I love filbert brushes. They've got a nice flat line. And if you're not using a filbert brush, obviously you want a more high detail brush when you're making a flat line. But filbert brushes are so perfect for this because they've already got a flat surface. And you can just draw it down and do the same. And there we go. We have our torch coloured in. And I'm just going to add some contrast to that, like I've done in the one above. Make sure I've got it right to the bottom as well. So you can see that I've got some of the coral and some of the yellow on there, and it just gives it some highlights. So, as the light is going across, so a bit there, a bit there. I've just used the lines from the brush itself to mark that on. So I'm going to do the same with the yellow, using the brush. Dipped it in, and I'm just going to go a streak across. Get a bit of white, add a little bit of extra colour, adds a bit of definition to your torch. And now what I'm going to do is let that dry before I do the next bit. So we're going to do a little bit of YouTube magic, cover our stone up, and when I come back it'll be nice and dry, ready for me to write the word. And we're dry. So, a little bit of magic there. I have mixed up some black paint with acrylic with a bit of water to make it a little bit more liquid so we can do some writing. Remember, just a few drops. Done that, shown you that trick a few times before, but by making it a little bit more liquid, by using one of these brushes like this, we can achieve a lot better writing. Because if you use it straight out of normal acrylic, it gets clumpy, it drags, and we get lumps like that on the paintbrush. And it just doesn't achieve the same effect as easily. So, not saying it's not possible, by the way. I can put in like this peach, and I could still write high, but as you see, it's clumped. It's just nowhere near the same level as you get as if you just add a bit of water to it before you do so. So we're going to write the phrase "Be the Light," and this is the phrase that was picked for International Rock Day this year. And there's a lot being done good with rock art this year. I was really privileged to be part of one of the projects that was working with comfort pebbles, and it's one of the projects that actually got me fully back into art. And that was making rocks and sending them off to hospitals and hospices. And we put our art on them. But one of the beautiful things was, it wasn't about art. It was about the messages that they got put on the back from loved ones when people were stuck in alone. And it was one of the things that made me realise that I could still connect with the world through my art and still be of use to the world through my art. And after doing that, I started actually fully using Instagram and sharing blogs with the world, writing about chronic illness, writing about mental health, and actually sharing my stories with a lot of you guys. We're actually on the road to 1,500 on Instagram now, which is absolutely amazing. It blows my mind that so many people have actually come on over to see what I'm up to and read the stories. So any of you that have come from over there, thank you so much. So rock art, it's where it began, and where I actually first started getting the confidence to share. So as you can see, I've written Be the Rocks. That's because I'm talking about rocks. Be the rocks today. Be the light is what I'm meant to be writing. Oh my goodness me. This is what happens. I get lost in my own brain. We write Be the Light, this one. But if you want to write Be the Rocks, Be the Rocks. We're going to leave it there, with my brain going off on a complete and no tangent. Be the light is the aim for the day, but if you want to write the second one, go for it because it's super cool. Have a really good weekend and stay safe and well, guys.